you know that you wasn't doing what you really wanted to do back then? So like you say, you were doing certain things, and then you had that moment where your mate said, look, when you get the fuck out your own way. How did you know, knowing what you know now, looking back then, how did you know that you wasn't doing what you really, really wanted to be doing that was going to be best for you in the long term?
Do you know what? It was not one single thing. It was just that niggly little pit of your stomach. I wouldn't say anxiety, but anxiousness kind of feeling that you kind of don't feel fulfilled, and you feel a little bit, I can't really put it into words. It was just a feeling. I knew that I was sort of, before saying like, it sounded like a weird analogy, before it like kicks off, if it's going to kick off, whether within sport or on wherever, that kind of pit of the stomach feeling like, oh, it's going to get a bit dodgy here. I just had that for a little while. And it was strange because that feeling was mixed with, I love the industry that I'm in, but I know this is not long term. And that was kind of one of the, sorry, I know you wanted like a short soundbite answer, but I'm not going to give you it, Will, sorry. But I had to kind of make peace with the fact that I had this niggling pit of the stomach feeling, but I loved what I was doing at the same time, but I knew it wasn't viable long term, which is a slightly strange thing, which is kind of makes what I'm doing now so much more enjoyable, because it is a highly profitable business model with something I love doing every single day.
Yeah. So on that note, right, so I'm mindful of time. We've got literally just over 5 minutes, and there's a very important part that we alluded to, the teaser at the beginning of this podcast that I want to make sure we talk about as well. The reason I'm bringing that up is because there's people that are listening to this right now that are maybe experiencing that, and they're going, but what if? But what if it doesn't work? And it's been an absolute delight, truly, witnessing you from when we first met 5 years ago, whenever it was, to you then stepping out of doing your property business to then doing what you did when you started getting into the podcast space and the coaching business that you're a part of, and then evolving again, working with another person within the professional development industry, to then deciding, actually, do you know what, I'm going on my own, and seeing you thrive. And it really is seeing you thrive. And we talk about flow state, and Stephen Kotler talks about flow state, and when people are in their flow state, they've got that abundant energy, but it's almost like, it looks like it's magic. It's like, how the hell are they doing this? I mean, how many podcasts now have you helped launch and go into top whatever it is?
126 as of last week.
126 podcasts in a relatively short period of time. We're talking within a couple of years. You're collaborating with celebrities and all manner of different things. So you're very much in flow state. And so again, I'm thinking of key things. So for you to describe how you feel day to day in a sentence, if you can, now doing that, knowing that you're aligned, doing what you want to be doing, and unapologetically charging for it, knowing that you're adding massive value to people, how does that make you feel day to day?
Again, it's difficult to put it into words. That's
why I'm asking you to put it into a short sentence, because I know that you're...
if in one word, I would just say aligned. I feel like I'm aligned for the first time ever, that I'm doing the thing that I should be doing in the way that I should be doing it, with the people that I should be doing it with. It's the first time that what I do, how I do it, why I do it is literally aligned. And I had a very weird experience. I've got a beautiful woodland over the back of where I live. And so I went for a walk the other day, and I was lined up to do we launched a podcast for Natasha Hamilton, 1/3 of Atomic Kitten, for this new joint venture influencer project that we were taking on. I'd had one of the biggest newsletters in the podcasting space go, I love what you're doing. I'm going to put out an article about you. And I was supposed to, and Jay Shetty confirmed to do a podcast interview. And I got a little bit misty eyed as I walked through the woods, and I'm like, and the dappled light was coming through the trees, and I'm like, am I having a bloody spiritual moment here? Like, I don't even know if I believe in anything spiritual. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this, but I just had this warm feeling of just contentment. And I think it was because it's aligned for the first time ever. I said this to my wife when we first launched in lockdown, because this was a business that was built out of lockdown. I said, it's the first time ever where I feel completely content with what we're doing, and everything that I've done up until this point has brought me to where I am right now. And that's what a message that I give to all the listeners, especially to the Make It Happen gang, because I've said this a few times on my own podcast. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now, based on the decisions that you've made in your life. If that is a nice feeling, great. Continue to go down that path of abundant happiness. If it's not, great. It's your opportunity, your warning sign that you're not aligned with what you should be doing. But you are exactly where you should be right now. All of the outcomes, all of the stuff that you've got in your life, both positive and negative, is a direct reflection of decisions that you've made.
You can find the full episodes of the Make It Happen with Will Polston podcast here on YouTube, on iTunes, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms.